Okay, we are starting a new painting. The last one's posted. So this one is based off another painting I saw that I really loved, and I don't know who it's by though, so I can't give Aubrey props, but oh, okay. So we're gonna start with the back because it's all black. Actually, I might start with the colors in the back. Yeah, and then do the background. Well, let's see, because otherwise the black's gonna get in that. So, yup. Okay, let's see here. We need a tiny brush. I'm gonna use this one because it's more good for like precision-y stuff. It's like I don't even know what it is. I don't know if you can see that. It's a brush. It's a brush. My paint color's over there, and I'm grabbing paint from before, but I'll explain why it's not working. Okay, so these are all different color little circles. Even though it's going to be a pain in the butt going around that with black, I figure it makes more sense because I'll have to go back. I don't want to have it be black and then go around it and get black in it, so hence why I'm doing it like this. It's an ugly ass red. Apparently I can't do a circle today. It's probably a good thing we're outlining it in black. I need something to clean my brush off with. Where is it? Toilet paper here for that purpose. Our brushes from earlier, which I guess I could have just cleaned off and used them, but why not make more of a mess with more colors? Okay, get some pink in there. See, the whole idea of easels is so that you take your hand off the paper, and apparently I don't like being told what to do because I do it anyways. It's like I'm shaky as hell. I gotta be able to brace myself off something here. The goal is to be able to do it. Okay, so next we'll do purple. Like, what kind of circle is that? Started off as something pretty, and now it's like some weird goop thing. I don't really understand. Hello. We're making weird circles of, well, they're like weird wannabe circles. Because I got the shakes. Doop, boop, 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 boop. It's like, it's a weird circle. There's no other way to put it. Okay, then we need green and blue. Vert et green. Or vert et bleu. Don't know if you want to come up, but I'm going to invite you. Send invite. You don't have to if you don't want to. You're more than welcome. Okay. Like, seriously, what the hell am I doing here?
Hello.
Hello. This is my circle madness. Because I thought it made more sense so I wouldn't get black in the colors as I was trying to put them on. Because as you can see, I can't actually color straight. So
That looks really nice. I like the colors. I'm like,
yeah, but
wow.
they're not circular like they're supposed to be. They're like, I'm gonna go over here.
I don't think circles are ever the same all the way
Well,
around. I mean, maybe they can prove that it is, but I don't think so. I think like even when you get closer to the paper and there's little gaps on like where the
yeah, but you know
ballpoint or
that
the lead
dude
pen.
that sold like $100 million painting because it's like the perfect circle. You remember that painting?
No.
You've never seen it? It's literally just a red circle, I believe. And it is like the perfect dimensions all the way around. And it's like, it's just an ugly circle, but it makes tons of money because it's like a world class painting because it's the perfect dimensions of a circle or circumference, whatever.
That's really interesting.
And everyone's
But
like, why do people buy that? But that's why.
maybe there's one perfect circle.
Maybe he traced it.
It's the myth of it's the myth of the um, compass.
Right?
The compass that you had in math class.
Dude, I cannot use a compass. There's a guy that I saw on Facebook. He's considered one of the world's best painters or drawers. He can do two drawings at once, and he draws with a compass. So he draws in circular formation and creates these like fancy landscapes and stuff. It's insane. I'll have to show them to you sometime. It's just like when you see it, you're just like blown away because it's like, how is that even possible to do that?
Right.
It's too cool. And then he just goes over it and then like somehow can change it by going back over it with different shades. It's just insane.
Yeah.
But there's a guy in here that paints with ballpoint
Amazon's
pens.
so off.
Like he does what is it called? Like portraits with ballpoint pens. And it looks like completely, I don't like what the words are I'm looking for, but like it looks real. Like it looks like a
Looks
real
legit.
portrait. Yeah, it's insane. It's like, how do you do that? Like
Yeah.
everyone who saw it in the groups have been like, yeah, okay, yeah, we're not going there because that's not even like, that don't even make sense.
Right.
Now we're gonna start at the bottom. Oh my God, why don't do summer? It's like hot flash city. I didn't put any yellow in. That's really weird. Huh. I just realized that. But she's gonna have a yellow dress, so I mean,
Yeah.
there's that. Okay, so I'm gonna do the bottom part. Doing, normally it looks like they use a painter's knife like this and scrape the color down. So we're gonna try that and see if we can do it without fucking it up. And then when we fuck it up, then I'll go back over it and fix it with like a paintbrush. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. So my first problem is that I have the paint in an area I can't get at it. So I need to somehow get this on my paintbrush. I mean, on my paint thing. So we may as well grab the paintbrush we're going to use next. We're going to paint this goopy guy up here. It was blue and gray. Nope, that's not going to work. Okay, we're going to do this then. I don't have the room for it. And then there's a bit of beige in there too. Did I take beige out? Nope, I did not. Oh well. Let's put a bit of. Hello, puppies. Puppies. Okay.
What's
And
wrong?
then I put paint upside
They
down.
always scare me when they do that because then I instantly think something bad just happened and nothing is happening. So we're all okay. We're okay, okay? We're okay,
Like,
okay?
look, of course we're okay, Mama. Yeah, this is not working. I don't have enough paint. I don't have this in the proper paint thing, so we're just going to do this. And then we're going to go down with the different colors so it looks the same. Okay, that can go in there. I've got what's her name in my head? Billie Eilish. Do you know if that guy that she are you still there? I think you hopped down. If you're still in the room, do you know if the guy she plays piano with is her brother? Or that's always playing piano and she's playing music is her brother? I need to look that up because I'm like, who is that guy? Because I know he writes a lot of the music she plays where she sings. So her brother does, anyways, or did. Okay. I'm going to put some more gray in. Hey, Sherry. How are ya? Welcome in. I'm great, thanks. Is it late where you're at? Um, so earlier I was watching or listening to a really good podcast during my live, and I want to get the book for it. But in the book, in the podcast, it was about these two women from England, a woman in the early 1900s, right when women's schools, like universities, were starting. So it was a big deal to make a good impression. So these are not women who wanted to make themselves look bad because they are trying to, make changes in the world for women. But these two women, one the head of the school and one a potential teacher, um, were, what do you call it? They went on this trip to Marseille. And when they went on this trip, Lindsay, just let me know if you want to come back up, hon. Um, they when they went on their trip, sorry, I gotta grab some beige while I'm talking. When they went on their trip, they had these experiences that made them feel like they were back during the time of Marie Antoinette. And they didn't tell each other about it because neither of them are close. They didn't know each other that well. And about 2 weeks later, they finally decide to tell each other their experiences, and they end up both having these weird experiences of what felt like during their trip they were kind of going back in time and then back forward and we're back to the present. So they decided under pen names to write a book about their experiences that so they'd remember them, but they didn't want to come forward with it because they didn't want the world to know who they were because they were trying to make an impact on women's rights and stuff, especially for education. But the podcast was kind of going through all the different things of like, debunking it, potentialities of what it could have been, paranormally, not, all different things. I'm going to stay in chat. Yeah, you're good. But yeah, it was fascinating. And they wrote a book, like I said, so I would love to be able to find this book. But because Facebook is interesting with its rights, I decided to listen to it in my ear during the podcast. So nobody actually was able to hear it. But like I mentioned in the last one, I'm going to actually post a link to it, I think. So that way, if anyone does want to listen to it, they can because it was really good. It was really good. It's really interesting. Something different. I'm going to find. I'm close to find. It is so hot in here. I don't know why it seems to get hotter at nighttime than it does during the day, but whatever. Okay, we're going to work on her dress. It's got like a pretty long dress, but then we gotta somehow put in the what do you call it, the shading or the shadowing of where the dress kind of lays, the bottom half of the dress. So this is going to be new for me because even though I do portraits, it's typically drawn. And if it's paint, it's not generally the whole body. It's very rare that I do like a whole body one. So this is going to be a little bit of a test for me. So we're going to draw the dress. It comes right up to here and then across. And then we're going to put in light shades, like a little bit darker shades of yellow with gray attached to it, and see if we can make it look like shading in the dress. And like the little, what do you call it? I don't even know. Can't even think of the word. That's why I should not be painting clothes, because I don't even know what it's called. Like little ruffles in the dress. Where's Maury? Oh, he's over there asleep. Okay. I realized I gotta turn the mount around so it's going the opposite way, like it's on the other side of the painting, because I'm right-handed. My hand tends to be in the way of what I'm doing, I notice. So I'll go switch it at some point, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. You guys are also going to have to deal with listening to my horrendous air conditioner probably after tonight, because I cannot handle this heat. I'm a December baby and I like it cold. I'm surprised I've gone this long. But I always try to make it till June. It's like a weird thing I think I have to do. Okay, so this looks almost like grays in the yellow, which scares me because I'm like, door. So let me think. I don't really want to put gray directly on it. But at the same time, I'm going to put some here and test it, see what it looks like. I'm afraid it'll just go brown or green. Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Okay. Yes, that there. And then I need a thinner brush. I'm gonna look for my nice brush, which I don't know which brush it is. I'm pretty sure it's in here. Is that you? No, this is you right here. Using tape to clean your brush is not going to make a whole lot of sense, Ashley. Okay. This isn't bad. This is kind of doing the job. I'm saving myself a lot of grief when I want something like her hair is a copper color. Lindsay knows this already, but where it's just, instead of just trying to mix the colors, which there's nothing wrong with doing, I save myself a lot of paint by just Googling the paint mix that makes, in this case, copper or what have you, and it saves a lot of grief. and a lot of paint and time, and a lot of wanting to punch your art stuff, or I guess that don't really make sense, but you know what I mean. Okay. I have to mix up a bit more. Be okay. There we go. So I'm just mixing like a lemony yellow, like a basic yellow with an already gray color. Like it's when I didn't mix up the gray, it was just like a typical medium gray color that I got with one of my acrylic bunches. So I'm just like lightly tapping the gray into the yellow, little tiny bits. And then there's going to be colors that go through here as well along the train of the dress, but that's going to have to be once it dries because it'll wreck it otherwise and the colors won't pop if I try to do that. And then there's still a little bit off of here that kind of goes like this. And that almost gets darker, that whole area. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to fill this right in with the dark to give it shadow. And then bring it down along here. And then I'm going to put some of this right along here. Actually, maybe I'll do just a touch of black. Okay. And then we're going to bring it up to where her dress is. And we're going to go up. There's a smidgen more black. Okay. And we're going to clean this off. So we'll just set that in there for now. We're going to mix up copper here. She has different tones from like dark to almost like a brown copper to a blonde copper. So we're going to start because it originally begins as a blonde copper and you obviously darken it. So we'll start off with her hair being the blonde copper, and then we'll add to it as we get around the hair. We'll add more brown to it. Looking for a brush I'd like to use. I kind of like to use that one. Okay. So you're going to mix burnt sienna with orange and yellow. Obviously, you can do it different ways, but I'm going to put in the yellow first and see where we're at. And then if it gets like a goldy, like a lemony kind of brownie copper, we just need a little tiny bit of orange, because this is like heading on like a almost like a milk chocolate color. So we're going to add a little bit of orange and see what happens with that. Probably didn't need as much burnt sienna. The yellow will calm that down. Put some more orange in. So what I'm going to do is actually use this for the darker area and then lighten it up as we go. Because I was thinking I'd end up doing the opposite, but it does not seem as though that's going to be the case. So we'll start with the darker area with more orange. I wonder if I can grab some more orange out of here. I had orange from earlier. Yes, I can. Get over here. If I can pick it up without making a mess. Come on. Here we go. And that should be enough for the dark area. And then I'll add more blonde to the darker area, to the lighter areas as we go. So our hair has natural curl. So what I'm going to do is just fill it in first. This area, it's going to curl. That'll be dark. You don't want to pick up too much yellow there at the dress. So we're going to try to sneak around there. Okay. And then we're going to bring in just a touch of black here. So we're going to take a little bit, mix it with black, just to create the curls and shadow. So it doesn't look black, it looks just almost like a dark brown. And then we've got a hair on there. Okay. And then when we create the yellow, we can come through with that as well, kind of highlight the curls a bit. And then what we're going to do, and it's close to the face, it gets a lot darker, so we're going to take this darker color and just outline where the face is going to be. Okay. Just like that. And then it gets a little bit lighter. But before we do that, we're going to take this original color and we're going to outline her face on this side because it's lighter, but it's still going to be darker than the rest of this area of the hair. So we're just going to do that. And then got a little bit of copper that goes through like that, through here, and a little bit here. Okay, so now we're going to add more yellow. To make it lighter. And also add white to it too, but I think this is going to be perfect for what I want because we want lighter areas, but not like white areas just because she is in the dark. So I don't want the white so much as I do yellow. Okay. And then she's got her part right here. And then her part here. Okay. And then I'd like to put just a smooch of yellow on my brush for these areas. I'm not going to leave it like this. I'm going to blend it in. I like a little bit of it for here as well. And a little bit, just a teeny bit of this, I'll use through the curls. Here we go. Okay. So the blue comes around the front of her shirt, which I didn't realize. I didn't see that first. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to clean that last brush off and go back in and grab some blue and clean that up before we start doing the skin color. Okay, so we just need a bit of blue, just enough. Of course, I have to leave a splotch of blue on her arm. A bit more blue. What I'm going to do is pop in some of that blue-gray in there so that it causes, like it shows where it gets darker. Here. And then a little bit right here as well. Okay. So next we gotta mix the face color and do that. And then we gotta let this dry. So this will be a two-parter. But okay, so I need some skin tone. You want like yellow ochre is really good. Yellow ochre. Just a dab of blue, like a very, very tiny smidgen of it, like a dot of it, and then you want red and usually cadmium red and white and yellow ochre, but we'll see. I'm going to do this with a smaller brush since I'm doing a face. I don't normally like I'm doing such a small face. So I'm going to create it here. So it's literally just like a speck of blue. You really don't need much more than like that because it doesn't take much to get what we're going to achieve here. So let's hammer this over. Okay. And then we're going to take a dollop of red. Mine's just a basic red. And then we're going to take a dollop of yellow, which is that same yellow I used in the dress. And then we're going to mix them together. And then you're going to have to fix the mixes, you know, add a little bit more of one or the other, but as you go until you get the right color you want. But that's par for the course. It's not going to be the same skin every time. But you almost want to start off with like a pinky, like reddy, almost brown color. And then you know you're hitting in the right direction of getting that right skin tone. And then you're going to add the white to it. And when you do that, you'll see the skin color just pop. Okay. So now I'm going to add white. And a lot of times you got to add a lot of it. Way more than you think you're going to need. Because you're going to do highlighting, the regular face color, plus the shading, contouring of the skin and stuff, right? So that's where you gotta be ready to mix lots of white. And it depends on the person too, and how, what do you call it, how pale they are. Okay. I'm gonna mix a little bit more red. She does have a little bit of rosiness in her cheeks. It tends to dry, I notice anyways, a little bit darker. Of course this does. Oh, my own pen. Okay. So we're going to start off with the darker areas of her face and body, which would be her shoulder area because it's covered by like her hair, and then it's going to be this underside. So I'm going to put in the other areas like her eyes and stuff. Normally when I'm doing a face, I would do this first, do the eyes and stuff, but because it's not really a main focal point in this piece, it's going to go in last. And then we're going to put a little bit of black, Jesus, a little bit of it here on our neck. Could totally have a better brush than this. That's a piece of crap, don't you know? Okay, there we go. Much better. So these are the darker areas. Obviously, we don't have our nose or any of those things put in yet. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of darker area. One lady I saw said the best thing she ever learned from doing portraiture, learning to put the highlights in first. I actually don't like doing the highlights first, weirdly. Maybe that'll change with time, but I like doing the shading first. And then I feel like I can come in with the highlighting better. I don't know, it's just my thing. Okay, so then we're just going to put a little bit more right here, because that's what they have in the picture. And then we're going to add a bit more white. And this will be the base color, which will be like here. So you won't notice too much of a difference, probably on the computer, but just a little, or on the phone. It's just a little bit lighter. Then we're going to leave it here for the highlighting on her shoulder. And then go up a little bit more on her arm. Then go over that part with highlighting. Here, I'm going to put this like this and around her cheeks area. And then we're going to leave the rest for highlighting. Now we need more white. Hello, what are you doing up? You're up early. I'm going to put it there. And then here. And then around her chin. Here, and the tops of her arms. And then I'm just going to use a soft brush so I can blend it. And then when this is all dry, I'll come in, came out of a dream. Aw, was it a good dream? When I'm done, once this dries, I can come in and do the background, do the colored spots on the dress, and do the eyes. But until then, this is what we're working with so far. But I will be back to finish.